Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you guys how to deploy a smart contract to multiple OP chains using Hardhat Ignition. So just in case you don't know, Hardhat Ignition is a declarative system for deploying smart contracts on the Ethereum network and other EVM compatible chains. It helps abstract the deployment details, so you just have to focus on your actual project. If you're coming from a Web2 background, you can just see it as a CI/CD pipeline for deploying smart contracts. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So as you can see, I already have my VS Code open here, and I have a folder open as well called OP Chains, and this is where I'm going to set up our Hardhat project. So to set up our project, we're going to first of all hit npm init-y to initialize Node.js project. Next, we're going to install Hardhat. So npm install --save dev Hardhat, and then wait for it to install. Alright, now that we're done installing Hardhat, next thing is to initialize our Hardhat project. And to do that, we're going to use npx Hardhat init. And we're going to go with the default JavaScript project here. Click yes, everything. Alright, so right now our Hardhat project has been fully initialized. So let's check what we have here. For simplicity's sake, we are going to be using the default lock.so file here. So we are going to be using this smart contract here, and we're not going to be touching anything. So now that our smart contract is ready, the next step is to configure Hardhat for the multiple chains that we want to deploy on. And for this video, we are going to be deploying on Mode, Base, and Optimism. So let's open our config file. And I'm just going to paste this here. So basically what this code does is it has this network property here for mode network, for base network, and for optimism network. And if you notice, they are all testnets, Sepolia testnets for all of them. So make sure that you have bridge ETher on each of these networks here for this tutorial to work out well for you. I'm going to be adding my private key here. I wouldn't advise you to do this in actual project. In actual project, you should use like environmental variables or something like that to inject your private key here. So that's why I put it here. You should not push this to GitHub. So I'm going to add it here because I'm not pushing it to GitHub. I'm going to paste this. Alright. So now that we're done with the configuration, let's compile the code and be sure that everything works as expected. So we're going to use npx Hardhat compile. Alright, so that works. So as you can see, it's compiled successfully. So now we're done with setting up the project and the configuration. The next step is to set up Hardhat Ignition. By default, Hardhat Ignition does not come with the Hardhat default package, so we're going to install that separately. I'm going to use npm install save dev foundation Hardhat Ignition ethers. So this is where the package is. So I'm going to hit enter. Alright, so now we are done installing Hardhat Ignition. The next step right now is to activate it. To activate it, you're going to go back to our Hardhat config file, and we're just going to paste this here. So we're just importing the module that we just installed right now over here. Now that we have Hardhat installed, the next step is to create our Hardhat deployment module. So we're going to use this command here to create a folder called ignition/modules right here. Ignition/modules, and then we're going to create a file inside that called deploy.js. You could call it anything you want to. And then I'm going to paste this code here. So basically what this code does is we are importing the Hardhat Ignition module that we just installed, and we are trying to build a module called deploy here. You could change this to whatever you want to. Well, it's advised to have one module per file, and if you notice, I use the same name for the module and the file here. It just a Hardhat ignition naming convention. And then I'm creating an instance of our contract here called lock. So if you notice, our smart contract has one parameter, which is the unlock time in milliseconds, which I did here. So I'm passing the parameter for the constructor right here. So as I'm initializing the contract, I'm passing the variable for it. So this is our contract instance here. So basically this is just going to deploy the smart contract. So at this point we should be done with everything. Our contract is ready to be deployed. But then there's one more thing. By default, Hardhat ignition does not support deploying to multiple chains. So because of that, we are going to write a custom shell script that would execute the deployment command for each of the chains that we just added to our Hardhat config. So now let's create a deploy.ssh file, sorry. So no, not here, at the root directory. Yeah, deploy.sh. So now I'm going to paste this. So basically this is a shebang, and we're trying to say that it's going to run from bash in this directory. Might be different for yours, but this is like the default. And so this is just a comment, so I can indicate when one network is about to deploy. So this is the main thing here. So this is the Hardhat ignition command for deploying to a network. Like you can see here, I indicated that this one is for mode, this one is for base, and this one is for optimism. So basically this shell script is going to run this one after the other. So with this we are all set. So next up we're going to head over to the console. Let's clear it up and execute our shell script. See what we got. Let me increase it so you can see everything in details. So to execute our shell script, we're going to use bash deploy.sh. So first one, deploying to mode. Alright, so we had just encountered an error, and then I found out that here I mistakenly added modules to this. So we're just going to remove this, and we're just going to import Nomi Foundation / Hardhat ignition. So this is all we need in the Hardhat config. So let's clear the console and run it again. So it's deploying to mode network. Yes, press Y, and so I guess mode network has successfully deployed. So for base, I'm going to hit Y again, and it's deploying for base now. I usually have problem with base deployment because of the RPC server, but I guess today's my lucky day. It worked today. And then the last one is for optimism. Alright, as you can see, our smart contract has been deployed to all three chains. I already have the Explorer open here, so I'm going to check it out. So I'm going to start with mode network. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here. Yes, I'm going to copy that of base. So as you can see, this is our smart contract on mode network, and it was just 2 minutes ago. So I'm going to do that for base as well. They all look similar, I think, because they are all optimism chains, so all the explorers look very, very similar. I'm going to do that for base as well. So that's for base, and then let's copy that for optimism. Yeah. So as you can see, this is our smart contract on all three different chains. So yeah, that's it. That's how you deploy your smart contracts to multiple OP chains.